Good afternoon, everybody. I think without much ado, we can kick off. I formally welcome you to GlobalView Capital Limited webinar titled Practical Skills for Trading in the Nigerian Market. One of the first things I want us to look at is the current state of the market, money market yields, government civil bonds. If you listened yesterday to the news, we will have heard that the GDP growth for Q2 2021 was out, and there was a good growth of 5.01% as compared to 0.51 growth for first quarter of 2021. And what will be the effect of the market? I think it's going to be a confidence booster and a sign of growth is to come. I believe that the market is going to fare better going forward. When you look at it, when we had the market went into recession, we saw the devastating effect of the market. I believe that this growth is going to reverse most of those prices that we saw as at that time, and that is even why we see prices trading below their fair value. The situation in the money market is showing that there is liquidity in the system. There was almost maturity on Tuesday. There was the fact disbursement yesterday, and there was treasury bill auction on Wednesday. When you look at it, you discover that the 365 days fell from 7.5% to 6.8%. That is about 7 basis points down and has been on the decline, which is a signal that the rates are coming down a little bit, and with this volume of liquidity in the system. And we know that we are dealing with a circular flow of vehicle. There should be a flight of capital from the money market into the capital market. And we actually see too that the rates in the bond have been declining since May of 2021, though they are still over 2 digit, that means they are above 10%. And it is discovered that government are making concession efforts to reduce their cost of fund as far as it is permissible, which means that they want to bring down the rates. And by the time we see the rates down in the bond market, rates down in the money market, and there is liquidity in the system and GDP growth is positive, we should be expecting a better performance in the market. Dividend, because of some questions that we have been receiving, I want to draw a clear cut between interim dividend, special dividend, and final dividend. We know that dividend is a payback, if I would call it like that, that companies give back to their investor. That is a reward by the investor putting money in making money available for their operations. What is interim dividend? Interim dividend is the dividend a company pays out to its investor before the final dividend. Chances are that when a company makes good money first quarter, they may like to reward their investors. Sometimes it's paid second quarter. They pay interim dividend. The final dividend is the dividend that companies pay to the investors at the end of every financial year. And we know we have different financial years on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange. About 90% of them have December ending as their financial year. But we have others that have April, we have others that have June, we have others that have May. A special dividend. Special dividend comes when a company have an extraordinary item, especially when there's a disposal of subsidiary or when there's a disposal of an item, and feel that maybe they don't need such money, the working capital will be a little bit too heavy for them, and they feel that they need to reward their investors, so they pay that special dividend. Interim dividend can be regular if the company can maintain it, and final dividend can be regular, but special dividend are not regular because it's part of extraordinary activities. Yes, we are expecting in the market interim dividend from GTCO, Zenith Access, UBA, and Stanbic. But this afternoon, before this meeting started, Zenith released their results, and they are paid 30 kobo, which means that it has set the standard going forward. Before now, we begin to see that of GTCO, we begin to see that of Access will be and Stanbic. And I know that when this enters into the market, there is a way it's going to affect the market. Even if the prices, the rally, the volume can actually be on the upward. Now we'll come back to online trading. I will discover that a lot of people, even after our last seminar, still have challenges in signing into our online account. And what I will just want us to understand is that to get onboarded, you need to visit our website, which is www.globalview capital limited. And all you just needed to do is to visit the website. Visit the website. When you are new and you want to open a trading account, all you need to do is to go to downloads. If you can see my screen very well, you go to download and you scroll down to GT Trade Access Request Form, and you click on it. And it will display like this: G-Trade mobile friendly online stock trading platform, and you fill it. The moment you set submit request, our back end desk, especially in the operation, is going to get a notification, and we will set it up for you. And for those that don't have an account with us yet, all you need to do, you go to open an account, which is still on our website. And you will see, and we have individual equity account opening requirement. We have the quick start, which you can do very smart, but the only thing that before you go about trying to open an account, you have to make sure that your passport photograph, your utility bill, and your means of identification are in the device that you want to use. Whether you are trying to fill the form from your laptop or you are trying to fill it from your phone, you just have to have those things in your device, so that for easy attachment, because there are places that where you are going to attach your you go to attach those quick document upload, where you are going to attach your passport photograph, where you are going to attach your means of identification, and where you go to attach utility bill. And one of the things I also want us to look at is that when you want, after you have been set up and you have been given a password, a lot of people are still having problem in the login process. What you do that I will show is that you go to, all you just need to do is go to login, account login, GT Trade login. You click on the GT Trade login, and it will show this. Because I have saved my details with my browser, that is why it's having everything here. And when you click on the sign in, an OTP will be sent to your phone immediately. I think it is so quick. I think the timer cannot be more than 5 minutes. And the moment you get it, you fill it in and you verify the code. I will be taken straight, like as we speaking. And my OTP has come. It has come immediately. And when you click that and you didn't see your OTP, please go and check your spam or bulk mail. And one of the things I want to tell us that as you begin to receive your OTP, make sure that the old ones are deleted. A number of people are having that problem because they don't delete the old one and they keep it there and they don't delete the old one. That is why they're having that issue. So I will quickly put in my OTP, then I will verify, and it will take me straight to the dashboard. And why am I bringing this again is that I have been getting requests from people who want to get their contract notes, people who want to get their CSS holdings and you want to see their cash account, you really do not need it as far as you are on this page. And you can see that this dashboard is showing my portfolio account summary. You have cash 77,000, equities, and like that. You can see when you look at your right, you can see the top gainers as we speak. This is a real-time online. You can see on that top gainer, you can see that it's 1:22 p.m. and this is 1:23 p.m. That is just a delay of 1 minute. And you can see the top loser too is a delay of 1 minute. And if you look at the where the cursor is, that investment, when you click on investment, you see your account, you see portfolio holdings, you see certificate and portfolio summary. Our certificate is when you have given us a certificate to dematerialize for you and the state pending. That is where you can follow it up. Portfolio holdings will give you your exact portfolio as it's coming up. We are going to see it just now. You can see that you can check for equities, you can check for treasury bill, you can check for bond. This is my current portfolio. I show it GlobalView Investment Limited, Wando, Farmadeco, Union Bank, and Zenith. This is the equities that are currently in my portfolio. Then you can check your portfolio summary. It's just telling me the composition of the various stock in my portfolio. You can see this is GlobalView, you can see this is Union Bank, you can see this is Farmadeco, just like that. Then when you talk about trade, you want to trade, when you click on the flyer of trade, you can see trade. That is exactly when you want to trade, where you want to buy from the market. You can see your trade history, you can see your portfolio transaction, you can actually get your contract note. But I click on trade now, and it brings the buy, and this, I think a number of people are familiar with it. Even to the right, it's still showing my portfolio, my current portfolio on the right. And like I've said, this CSCS number, the only thing you can do that is not, you can't edit it. Is why when you click on it, it shows a drop line. Is when you have to CSCS account with us. You see the action buy. It's either you want to buy or you want to sell. Then you go to the symbol where you choose what stock that you want to buy. I will choose Honeywell flour, and you can see that the moment I click on Honeywell flour, there is a drop of exactly what is happening in Honeywell. You can see last trade of Honeywell as at 27th of August 2021, 1:24 p.m. is real-time online. The symbol is Honeywell. It's telling me what happened to this. Is the last price that is traded, which is 3 naira 47 kobo. If you look to your left, you can see the top bids for Honeywell as we speak, and the top offer. Then I will fill in the quantity. I want us to also have put this at the back of our mind. You can see that the quantity is 0. You should have to try as much as possible to erase that 0 before you key in your quantity. I will put in 100 that I want to buy. We can either set market or limit. Limit is when the price is 3 naira 47 kobo, but I don't want to buy it at 3 naira 47 kobo. Maybe I want to buy it at 340. I can set a limit for it. But if I want the market, once I click market and it goes, the machine will buy for me from the best bid that is available in the market. You can preview your order to make sure that all the fees are settled and what you want to do is exactly what is there. Whether if you by mistake click sell instead of buy, the machine will tell you that this is a buy. But I want to buy 100 units at market price, and you can see that the machine is telling me the estimated value of my trade. 397.47. Peradventure that it was 390 that was in my account, this trade wouldn't have been able to be executed. There was no way it can go because the machine will not allow you to trade higher than the amount you have in your account. Then you submit. can see that the moment you submit, the machine has got it back to me, and it said globalview.com says the trade has been successfully placed. That means that that sales that have been initiated just now have been successfully placed. And what you are going to get at the end of the day is contract note that will be sent to me automatically by the machine via my email. But peradventure that you don't see it, you can still come back here and check your and you can generate your contract note even on this page. Like this, you can see that under that trade, the flyer out, you can see contract trade. When you click on contract note, when you click on it, you can see it will tell me this is my contract note for the trade I have just done. 27th of August, stock is only flour meal 100 unit. It bought it at 351 because I said market price, and the total amount, which is the consideration, was 351. It's telling me what I'm paying for sec fee 1.5 kobo, stamp duty of 28, a commission of 1.74 kobo, and blah blah blah. At the end of the day, what that transaction has cost me is 373 kobo. So that is that for trade. And one of the things I also want us to actually have a look at is how to use market research, which is actually very, very important. The market we are dealing with is information driven, and you have to be information self. I have said it, I've told some people, a group of people that are listening to us, that if you want to actually make it in this market, you have to be on top of information. We have seen what happened recently. Iran on the floor. In fact, it started with cuties. When cuties passed the baton to on the floor, we saw the time that Wando had the song. We saw from Adeco, we saw Cotville, we saw BOC gases. And if you are not on top of this information, I don't think there is any way you will be able to make optimal return in the capital market. We saw Wando rising from 3 naira plus and getting to 5 naira 68 kobo. We saw that even only well traded as much as 327 kobo before it reverses. Those are information driven. If you look at this page here, you can see that we have most traded stock. The machine is going to show you when you click on most traded stock. Those are pointers where you have the volume. When the volume is go to which stock is attracting the volume, and when you discover that which stock is attracting the volume, then it's your duty to go and find out why is it happening. Like what we have here, more traded stock by value today is Jitco. Chances are that maybe because of the price, that is why it's up. After Jitco, we have Selling, we have MTN, WAPCO, and UB, and most traded stock by volume. Mutual benefits, mutual transcorp, these are real-time online, and you can see price lists. A lot of people have called and said, they tell me, send me price list. You don't need to call me once you are connected on this page. From here, you can see these price lists are real-time online, and you can actually look at other African markets. You can look at what is happening in other African markets. You can look at market snapshot, that is what the ASI is doing, which is also real-time online. And peradventure that you traded on our OMS, you have an account with us, and you want money, you don't need to call anybody. Just go to support. If you look at support, there is all contact us, and there is make request and frequently ask question. When you click on the make request, that you are sending a message to us. This is my email. You put your email, you put the issue, what do you want? Is it you want to withdraw money? Is it a withdrawal? Then you put it there and then tell your stories. And submit. The moment we get it, the next thing you will get in your bank account is alert. Then you will get an alert in your bank account. Yeah. Uh, we'll talk about market research and information. We've seen it in Nigeria race. Why did Nigeria drop from 57 to 52? Because a director sold 10,000 units at 37 naira. That is a pointer. If you have that kind of information and you are in position in Nigeria race, you should know exactly what we are supposed to do. And Nestle, we saw the Nestle that also a director dealing of over a million at 1,400 naira when it was doing 1,540. It's a pointer that is telling you that as a director you are selling below the price in the market. That means there is an issue. We saw NTN, we see BUC gases and Honeywell. There, I want to use this opportunity to tell our listeners, especially those that are involved in volume business, that if peradventure that you can drive a volume business of 10 million and above for consecutive 3 months, we can come for negotiation, which means that the 1.35% that we charge can actually be negotiable for that 3 months. And peradventure that the next month, fourth month, the next fifth month, you are not able to do it, and the next 6 months you are able to do the 10%. The matching is designed in a way that the moment your volume get to 10 million, it will trigger that the percentage that we have already agreed. Let me say for instance, assuming that we agree on 1.3% instead of 1.35% for the 3 months, we are able to do 10 million value, 10 million value, and maybe the fourth month we are not able to do it, which the market will charge 1.35%. The fifth month, maybe as at 15th, we are not able to do 10 million value. It does not matter that because we are unable to do 10 million value on the fourth month, that is it. The moment you have 10 million value mark on the fifth month, the machine will reverse that setting and it will calculate back from the day one and at the agreed percentage that we have discussed. I've talked about how you can get your contract notes, how you can get your CSA position and cash balances from this. And you do not, like I said, you do not actually need to call anybody if you are signed on, especially on our OMS. Yeah, I also want to use this opportunity to make our listeners today to know that myself and my team at GlobalView Capital Limited, there is a product we call web tracking and global search. And you people understand exactly what happened between 2004 and 2009. There were a lot of things that happened in the market. A lot of people really don't know where their stock and where their work is. At a particular point in time, nobody wants to go here ST talk less of stocks, but the market is back and is better than what it was. And we discovered that a number of people want to get back to what they had as at that time. We offer what they call web tracking and global search. We help them to locate even their dividend. We help them to locate their dividend. We help them to locate their account, whether it's in a registrar or whether it's a CSS, whether it's in a dead house. We help them to locate it and bring them on board to be ready to be administered to. And what we also do here that was to let us to know that as some reward, I wait those that give referrals. If you are able to give somebody who will do web tracking with us at the end of the day, by the time we are through, we'll get back to you. I said, thank you very much. And I also want to let us know that we have simplified our account opening process. You do not need to get across to us before you open an account. Like I've demonstrated just now on our website, if you type GlobalView on your browser will bring www.globalviewng.com, and when you enter, you will see account opening process. Like I said, before you begin to fill the form, you just make sure that your passport photograph, your means of identification, a copy of it, and a copy of your utility bill is on the device that you want to use, so that for easy attachment. and when you send it, well, somebody will get back across to you easily, and your account will be set up within 24 hours. I want us to look at derivatives. For a very long time, the NGX, NSC as at that time, have been trying as much as possible to introduce derivative to the market. It is believed that that is the next investment vehicle on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange, but it has its own drawback, it has its own risk. I think by the time we, assimilate it fully, I think it's going to be very, very beneficial to us. What can you do with derivative? It could be used for speculation, it could be used for arbitrage, it could be used for hedging. First of all, we look at derivative. What is a derivative? Derivative is not stock. A derivative is a financial contract. It's a financial contract whose value is derived from an asset. It is called an underlying asset. And if you look at it, the asset might not only be stock, it can be near money, it can be bonds, it can be an index. And the NGX made it known that 5 derivative contract and be approved for it. We have the UBA, we have the assets, we have the Dangote Cement, the MTN, as in those are standalone equities. We have the NGS 30 and the NGS pension, which are indexes. How does it work? By the time that the NGS will go live with the derivative, there will be contracts. All this will be announced. It's either you buy a contract or you sell a contract. And the contract have sizes from what we were told the other day. Every contract price, as far as the NGS is concerned, is 1,000 naira. And in contrast to what is happening in the equities market, we have the low cap, the medium cap, and the high cap. The low cap have tick size of 1, which is equivalent to 1 kobo. The medium side have tick size of 5, which is equivalent to 5 kobo, and the high cap tick size of 10, which is 10 kobo. But the contract side tick size is 0.25, and 0.25 of 1,000 is 250. Tick size means which is the smallest movement. That means for contract price that is 1,000, it can either go to 1,250 or it can go to 750. And the contracts are in 3 months. We have the March, which will enter January. You have the June, which will enter in April. You have the September and the December contracts. These are future contracts that are going to be traded on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange. How do you use it to hedge? Peradventure, you have a position in MTN shares, and you are not a speculator, you are an investor. But you have worries that there may be time that the price of MTN may decline. Know fully well that your position in the cash market, which means that you have gone long, you will just go and take the opposite position in the derivative market by buying the derivative contract on MTN shares. Why do you buy derivative contract on buy contract for the position that you are in the cash market? Because when the price is going down, you will gain in the derivative market. When the price is going up, you will gain in the cash market. Hedging means that you are putting yourself in a position that market cannot actually move as vastly against you. Even if it's going to be, the effect will be mitigated either at the cash market or at the derivative market. So at the end of the day, it will be better off. But for speculation, that means you don't have a position, whether in UBA, you don't have a position in assets, you don't have a position in Dangote Cement. But you are having the belief that the price of Dangote cement might go down because of the information you have. You go and buy a contract of Dangote cement in the derivative market. As the prices go down, so you will be gaining. But the only thing in the derivative market, because you actually are not having possession of that underlying asset, is to close your position. How do I mean? Which means I don't want to use derivative language so that we won't get ourselves confused. If you go long, that means if you buy, the only thing you know is to go short, which means you sell your position. What will normally come out from derivative is the cash settlement. To a very large extent, there is no physical delivery, but you will be mandated to have a collateral when you are doing this delivery because it's a little bit volatile. On the floor of the Nigerian stock exchange today, a stock can either get 10% or lose 10%. And if you are a position in a store and 100 naira, and you watch it go to 90 naira, you watch it go to 80 naira, you watch it go to 50 naira, and then you have not sold, then you have yourself to blame. But it's not so in the derivative market. The market can move against you and wipe off whatever you have in a day. And so what you are required to do when you want to enter into the derivative market, you want to set up what they call a margin. Because you are actually not buying that stock. Dangote cement that is about 200, you are not going to buy Dangote cement. That is why the price of a contract site is 1,000 naira. You are not actually buying Dangote cement, you are buying a contract. So you need to bring up a margin. And your positions will be marked to the market every day. What does it mean by marked to the market? As prices are going up and going down at every trading day, your broker will mark your portfolio to the market, which means if you bought at 50 naira and it's now 14 naira, which means your value of your portfolio at that day is 49 naira. If you buy at 50 naira and the position of the next trading day is 65 naira, which means your new position there is 65 naira. It is this mark to the market that determines whether you are in profit or whether you are in losses. And peradventure that there is a level that the drop in your account can go to. The moment you get there, they will call what they call margin call, which means that your portfolio has deteriorated to the extent that if they allow it to be like that, it will wipe out your collateral. So they will be expected to come back and increase the value of your portfolio. We will take our time and we are just joining this for this webinar. We are going to take out full time for we are going to take out full time next time to look at that. But as at now, I want us to see if you have any question. I think you can put out your question actually while I still talk. If you go to the left of the screen, you can actually see where you can put your question. Put in your question, especially when you are using a laptop. You can see where you can put your question, and I will be able to, or comment, I will be able to answer it as we continue in this discussion. Now, I just put there, we have heard of this word portfolio. It is not just enough for you to diversify your portfolio to include various asset classes to minimize your risk exposure. It is also sufficient, to rebalance as the time determined. Because in real portfolio management, what to do is by appointing weights to stocks. If peradventure the volatility in the market affects your portfolio, you need to realign your portfolio so that your previous objective will be met. Sometimes you need to buy some to bring up the weight of the portfolio, or you need to sell if that particular stock is being overweight. We are going to go more on this maybe as we go. What we are going to be doing is that we'll be having this webinar at the end of every month. Chances are that last Friday of every month we'll be gathering together like this to talk. In your portfolio balance, we have calendar balancing and percentage balance. What do I mean? You can just set it that after every 3 months, you look at your portfolio. We want to know which of the stock or which of the asset class that is underweighted or that is overweighted that you need to correct. Sometimes you have to do it by percentage. For adventure, you have a stock that is 30% of your portfolio. It's not 25%. All you need to do is top it up. That's bye-bye. But this maybe it's 30% and it's not like 50%. Maybe you have to sell. But while you are using a percentage rebalance, you have to have some threshold that is permissible. Chances are that a portfolio, a stock, or a constituent of your portfolio that have 30%, you might say maybe you want to get to 35% is still tolerable. It's when it is over 35% that you need to rebalance that stock in your portfolio for optimal performance of your portfolio. I think the other day I talked about this security lending. You see, why I have a solid belief in the management of this stock exchange, they actually try as much as possible to deepen the market. They are bringing it, derivative on board, and they have introduced the security lending for a very long time. What does it mean by security lending? The configuration of the trading machines, whether it's the one on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange or whether it's the OMS, does not allow you to sell a stock that you do not have. But you can make money by security lending. How do you make the money? Peradventure that you heard news that I've talked about being market savvy, that you have just gotten the news that something is going to happen to a particular stock, and especially when it's going down. People actually borrow security, especially when there's every possibility and that the price is going down. You go to a security lending agent and borrow the volume that you can borrow and sell. Assuming you sell at 30 naira and the price come down as low as 15 naira. You now buy back that same volume. The security lending agent is not interested how much the stock is sold in the market. He's only interested in the number of units that he has given you. If you sell a particular stock at 30 naira, which is not which you have borrowed, but mind you, this must have been transferred to your position in your CSCS before you can sell. So as at the time that you have sold at 30 naira and the stock has gone down, it's now 15 naira, you quietly go to the market and buy the stock back again at 15 naira and deliver the unit to the person. Then by the time you net off the costs, the charges, you will smile home. How do I participate? Is to approach a security lending agent. We'll be sharing that maybe the next webinar we are going to have. I'll be sharing some of the agents that you can actually approach and be involved in it. What the beauty of this is that as I'm saying, as I'm talking, you may not actually have any position in any stock, especially Nestle. A number of people are shying away from that stock because of the price. 1,514 and I can buy so many units of Wema Bank, can buy so many units of Codville. So people believe that volume makes it in this market. But you are still interested in selling it. We've just talked about the directors dealing in Nigeria, Nestle, that drove the price from 1,540 to 1,400. You will still have the belief that it will drop further. What you need to do is you take it, sell it at 1,400, and the price comes down to 1,000, and you buy back. You deliver the quantity that you borrowed, and you make your money. How do I make my money? I think I have said it, that you borrow, especially when you know the stock is coming down. What are the risks? The risks are high. How are the risks high? If the information you get is not as correct or does not affect the market the way you think it will affect the market. One of the things in the capital market is that you may think that this information that you have, this is the direction of the market. The market has a mind of its own. I used to say that you have done your research, other people in the market too have done research. It is the interpretation that you give to the research that will determine the action that you are going to take. And by the time the interpretation of other market participants are in contrast to your own, then the market is going to move against you. If you borrow a stock with the belief that it's going to go down, or if you have sold, that you have borrowed Nestle, you have sold at 1,540, you are thinking that it will go down to 1,000 so that you sell and make your money. And in contrast, Nestle begin to increase from 1,540 to 1,600 to 1,700. When at the end of the tenure of the contract, you need to return those quantities you have borrowed. Like I said, the security lending agent are not interested in how much the stock is selling. They are only interested in the number of quantities that you are taking from them. You have to deliver that same number of quantity. So those are the risks that are involved. I just put here so that we look. We are so much aware of the demutualization that happened on the Nigerian Stock Exchange and the listing of the NGS share and the Nazi OTC. It was listed at 25 naira. We saw it go to up to 30 naira 86 kobo, and it has drifted and drifted and drifted. I think yesterday it closed in the neighborhood of 17 naira. But as even this morning and saw that they have come out with a notice of the assisted AGM, it's just told me that one of the top things that they may be discussing is how to move that share from the Nazi OTC to the main exchange. Why am I saying this? We saw what happened with MTN while MTN was listed on Nasdaq. It was not as buoyant as it was, as it is now on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange. I'm having this strong feeling that NGS share may not be subdued as it is and the Nazi OTC. And the last time I checked, NGX has a heavy reserve, and by the time they declare dividend, which has not been set, and they've not said anything concerning the business of the day, what they just released was just the notice of the AGM. By the time they talk about maybe paying dividend, by the time they talk about their plan, I'm not sure that the price that we see of NGS on the floor of the Nazi exchange is what we are going to see. These are things that we are supposed to put our mind in. What determines your gain in the market is when you are able to see what other people are not seeing. I think an investment in NGS share at the end of the day will not be a bad one if that stock is taken from Nazi OTC to the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange. I cannot see it doing less than 30%, 30 naira, and I cannot see buying a stock on Nazi at 17 naira and selling it at 30 naira on NGX floor. That is not again. That is how we are going to how we are going to round up today. I think I'm actually not seeing a question or nobody has asked a question. I think that is how we are going to draw this curtain today. And I want to reassure us, like I said, that this meeting is going to be holding every last Friday of every month, and we'll be sending out a notification like this, and we do much more as we begin. And this is just an eye opener. What I just talked about is just introduction, and by the time we begin to continue in it, we are going to deal in them in depth, especially the security lending and the derivative. We will also be talking about if you are going to position yourself in the purchase of the NGS share. Thank you very much for staying around. Like I said, I don't think I have seen any question. Okay, I think. Okay, I just comment. That is how we have been coming at the end of the day today. Thank you very much for joining.